So good afternoon once again. Like I said, we're going to be discussing design thinking in UX today, but we're just going to, you know, go through our usual tradition. First of all, I would like us to drop an emoji to describe how your weekend, how your weekend went. Just do that in the chat box very quickly. Describe how your weekend went with an emoji. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of happy faces. Gladys is very happy. Sammy looks tired. Ernest, no emotions. Olio, why are you crying? So I think majority of us are very happy. Okay, so with that done, now I'd like for us to type out one thing that we learned from the last class. And then I would also love to get two volunteers who actually unmute their mics and tell us what they learned from the last class. The rest of you can type it out in the chat box. Two volunteers, you can just raise your hand and then I'll let you know when you can speak. Last class was actually a very interactive session, so I'm sure we learned a lot. Questions, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, patients.
Yeah, so from the last class, we basically talked about elements and principles of designs. We talked about elements as being the components of design, which are colors, lines, shapes, etc. And that the principles are the guiding rules that guides the use of these elements to create designs. Then we talked about the fact that these rules are to be followed for you to be able to achieve your design. So basically, that's what we discussed.
Thank you very much, Patience. I'm glad you learned something from the last class. Francis, please unmute and go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Francis.
Okay, from the last class, personally, I learned a lot because it's pushed me off of my comfort zone. Like other classes I've been attending, like they don't give us, according from the task that I did, the task is a very interesting task that um makes you as a designer decide to find solutions and to find way to situation that thanks to like the fact we went to go and post on LinkedIn and post our works on that and to show off our design, to show off what we are able to do. And I love the fact and the way you teach it. Although I've been a little into Photoshop, I know a little bit about that, but I'm not that perfect. But being guiding a clue, having a clue on that already gives me a lot of guidance, and I'm so happy to be in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. I'm glad you learned something too, and I am happy that you're part of this community. So I have in the chat session, classes said elements and principles of design. I also have here Ademuye said, for a design to be great and attractive to the users, all the elements and principles of design must be well used. That's a good one. Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Okay, Chukwukalu said, the last class was amazing, learned about replications and shapes and colors, which are applied in the task. That's a good one. Application. Success, Amarachi says, what stopping me in the last class was consistency of design, especially when you right? You gave example of Coca-Cola, actually the brand consistency. I learned to always watch out for a color a brand has identified with brilliance. Tolu Lopez says elements and principles of design and how it can be well applied in designs. All of these are brilliant answers. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're learning a lot. Okay, so moving on. What to expect from today's class? We're going to be talking about what design thinking is. We're going to look at the design thinking processes. This is actually my favorite topic. We're going to talk about the importance of design thinking, and then a few links to be clicked on to read more about design thinking, and then we're going to be looking at the quiz, which I am very excited about. So let's get started. I hope you're as excited as these minions. So what is design thinking? In case you're wondering. So the most valuable products, regardless of their industry or sector, they tend to solve a lot of problems for people. If you attend business schools, you find out that this concept is being taught in business schools because people are willing to pay money to have their problems fixed for them. But from the UX side of design, you can actually create a tool that helps people to live their lives to the fullest with as little stress as possible. Remember, we used a case study and we're using this application, the banking application, as a case study. So that explains the countless problem-solving mobile applications and websites that we're using today. The design thinking methodology, right, is a means to an end, because it is very natural that UX designers set out to, solve people's problems, whatever those problems may be. But solving these problems are quite challenging, because how do we actually identify problems in people's everyday lives? How do we do that? It can be very difficult, okay, more difficult than you know it, especially in this 21st century, where we already have solutions for almost everything. So today we're going to be discussing design thinking in UX. So here you will have design thinking is an iterative process that follows a human-centered approach to solving problems. Design thinking helps us to realize what truly is and what isn't. The processes employed are designed in such a way that they cause us to have a better understanding of our users, scrutinize our assumptions, and redefine the problem. So I'm just going to be very practical with us. Let's say that we have two types of UI UX designers. Okay, we have the people that came out of KodeCamp, right? And we have the people that did not. Okay, so we have A and B. The first group of people that came out from KodeCamp, they have an understanding of design thinking. So if they suddenly get a client or a company who has asked them to work on a project, they're not going to jump right into Figma and start designing stuff. Okay, but batch B or group B, they're going to probably do that because they do not understand design thinking. So if you have a client, right, or a company who hired you to work on a project or a project idea or a product idea, right, the first thing you want to do is go through these design thinking processes. You don't just jump right into Figma and start trying to put colors and stuff together, because the question is what do you actually know? What do you know that you want to do? Okay, what do you know about the users you're designing for? That is why it is essential that UX designers go through these processes one after the other for a better outcome. I like to think that design thinking is a structure that UX designers can use in order to tackle big and complicated or even largely unknown problems in product development. So consider the design thinking process a structure for people who want to create solutions. That's why we're going through these processes. We don't want to just go right into Figma and start putting colors, the logo. We just start putting things together where we don't actually have all the information that we need. Okay, so these are the processes. Design thinking processes divided into 5 phases. We have the first one to be empathize, right? Which is also known as the empathy stage. Empathy here means, understanding the feelings of others. In this case, our users. We're trying to understand their emotions. Why do they think the way they do? Why do they actually do things this way? What are their needs and wants? This is where we get to understand our users, put ourselves in their shoes. We have the second phase to be the definition phase, define. We have all of this we're going to treat in the next class. Okay, but today I'm just going to run them through as a list. We have the ideate stage. We get to generate ideas. We have prototype, and we have the final stage, which is the test, user testing. So these are the design thinking processes. Now, I'd like to let you know that it is quite challenging to make sure that you understand the people who are meant to use your products, for you not to lose sight of their real problem and come up with innovative ways to get around that problem. Actually, no matter how many years of UX design you have under your belt, products and users are still going to differ from your idea of what is good and what is bad. So in the UX game, the user's perception of good and bad are what you need to listen to or look out for. But that doesn't mean creating products suddenly becomes easy because you just tend to interview a few users. No. So let's start with the first reason why UX designers should invest some time and effort into learning about the design thinking process, figuring out if you're actually after a real problem or you're just chasing smoke. So how can the designer know if the problem the team is out to solve or the problem he or she is out to solve indeed is a problem worth fixing? Because most of us have recurrent problems that affect our day-to-day lives, but we are so used to them. We don't see them as problems, not anymore, as far as we are aware. That is just how life works, okay? So we need to ask ourselves these questions. This problem, is it actually worth fixing? So identifying this problem is tough, actually, because it requires an immense ability to actually understand the users. The design thinking process, it starts out by pushing designers to see things through the eyes of the users. I think I mentioned this. Putting yourself in their shoes. That's why we called it a user-centric design, user-centered design. So the first step doesn't even consider other factors such as, which features am I going to put, what features will people like to see on the application or website. We're not actually looking at all of that. We're trying to understand them. So on a separate note, one of the best things I like about the design thinking process is that it is not a linear model. By this, I mean, designers were not expected to move in a straight line from stage 1 to stage 5. You're not expected to move in a straight line from empathize to test. Okay? So passing a stage does not mean you cannot come back to it once you've learned new information or you've had a better idea. That's why we said it's iterative process. So if I have gotten to the last stage, which is the testing stage, it doesn't mean I cannot go back to the definition stage or even to the first stage, because the essence of design process is to make sure that at the end of the day, we've actually solved a problem. So if at the end of the day, right, we've gone through the last stage, we get about, we did user testing, we've gotten feedbacks from our potential users, and we have 80% of people saying that they do not like our product, or they do not like a particular thing, or they find it hard to actually assess our products, which could be a mobile application or website. What are we going to do? We're going to go back to the first stage of better understanding our users. We can still go back to the ideation stage. We can still go back to the prototype stage. So you're not going in a straight line, you're not following, going from empathize to test, and that's where it ends. You can still go over these stages in order to make sure that our users, have what they actually want. So this back and forth is actually very good because it encourages constant reiteration, which tends to help designers spot issues and potential downfalls of their products while they are still in the development phase, while it is still very cheap. Because trust me, it's going to be very expensive for when you've actually pushed out your product, like you've launched it. You're going to, have to do a lot of work to go back to that stage of understanding your user. So it is better when you're going over these ideas, you're learning new information or having better ideas while you're still in the development phase. It is better to fail and fix things early while it is still cheap, because the later the fixing comes, the more expensive and more complicated it is going to be. So this, like I said, these are all the design thinking processes that we're going to be talking about them in the next class. You're going to be learning all about these stages and how they apply to product development. So next up, we're going to be looking at the importance of design thinking. So I made out a few lists. We have number 1 to be, it prevents costly mistakes. So I'm seeing something in the chat, but what screen can you guys see, please? You can type that out. And also make sure that you do not unmute your mics. What exactly are you seeing? Just like type out the topic that you're seeing on your screen. Because I think I made a mistake with the numbering there. What topic are you seeing on your screen? Importance, thank you very much. So I'm just going to go ahead. Importance of design thinking, I said it prevents costly mistakes. I already explained this. When you're still in the development phase and you get to find out a lot about your users, you get to find out or come up with better ideas. It will help you to prevent a lot. Now, the difference between somebody who goes through the design thinking process and someone who does not is going to be very clear. Assuming I am asked to, design a particular idea or bring a particular product idea to life, and the first thing I do is jump on my Figma, it's going to get really messy, okay? Because I have no idea what I am doing. No matter how experienced I am, I have no idea who my users are, what they actually want. I'll end up putting out stuff that these people do not even need, right? But the person who goes through these stages step by step, you get to see a lot more difference, because at the end of the day, you bring these two people together. The first person who did not go through the design process is going to have barely anything to show the users, and we're going to have a lot of back and forth. Users saying that they do not actually understand what is going on here. There are going to be a lot of questions. okay, a lot of bumps. But then the person who actually went through the design thinking process, you can see the difference because this person has gone through the process. The person knows who the users are, okay, understands them, knows their needs and wants, and has actually met those needs. So like I said, it helps to prevent costly mistakes. We have number 2 as helps to meet. Please do not unmute your mics. Pay attention. It could be a mistake, just mistakenly clicking on your phone or your PC. So just pay attention. Thank you very much. Number 2 says it helps to meet clients' requirements. So a client comes to you and tells you, I want this done. Can you come up with an application for mentors where people can find mentors or people can gain mentorship? The first thing I'm going to do is go through the design process, right? To better understand the users. I'm going to ask people a few questions, the potential users. That's where user research comes in, which we're going to talk about in the next class. Interview a few users, ask them how would they feel about this product? What would they like to see on this product? At the end of the day, my client is going to be very impressed because I am going to meet his requirements. I'm going to give him exactly what he actually asked for. So that's what design thinking does. Number 3, we have it facilitates innovative thinking. It is in this phase that you get to, come up with a lot of ideas. You're going to come up with a lot of ideas. It's going to improve your innovative thinking. And we have the last one to be, it helps in actualizing the right solution. Design thinking process, it helps you do that. You come up with the right solution to whatever problem that you're facing or whatever problem the application is about. Because like I said, I think I mentioned this, that as UI/UX designers, we're problem solvers, okay? So we tend to come up with solutions to problems. A company comes to you and tells you, for instance, in Lagos State, that people find it very, hard to dispose their waste. Can you come up with an application, or maybe the person says, can you come up with a product or a platform that helps people to dispose their waste efficiently? Now, the first thing you're going to do is find out how many people actually, dispose of their waste this particular way, or what are the mediums? How do people actually dispose their waste nowadays? You're going to ask yourself these questions. And with this, asking the right questions, you're going to come up with the right solution. So this is what design thinking does. It makes you come up with ideas and find solutions to problems. Next up, we have further reading. I think I mentioned that this class is going to be very short. We have further reading. This is some links that I came up with that you should check out. Is this popular IDEO video to see how design thinking was applied in redesigning a shopping cart. So you should check that out. And also watch this short video on design thinking by InVision. Do we have any questions before we go into the next part of today's class? Do you understand what design thinking is and how it can be applied? Do you understand the importance of design thinking? Do you understand that as a UI/UX designer, you're not supposed to just, rush off into your design board or your Figma board? You're supposed to, first of all, start out by understanding your users and going through these processes again. So I'm waiting for questions, please. And if you want to speak up, you could just raise your hands. Mibaka, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Please unmute and go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. So my question is, you talked about the various processes for design thinking, as the empathize, the define stage, the ideation, prototyping, and the user testing stage. And you said before any designer goes into making out his design, he or she has to first go through the empathy stage. So, and you also, if I heard you clearly, I think you said there is no straight process. So you could actually, like you must not follow the way each of all these things have been listed. So I want to ask, after this empathy stage, can one jump into any of all these other processes without following them according to how they've been listed?
Okay, so this is what I meant by iterative. These are phases, right? So you're supposed to go one step at a time. But that doesn't mean
Okay.
that when you've gotten to the last stage, that's why I said they're in stages. We have stage
Okay.
1, stage 2. So the first stage is what? The empathy stage. When you're done with
Empathy
the
stage.
empathy stage, you're going over to the ideate stage. You're not supposed to jump. But what I meant by iterative is when you get to the last stage, that doesn't mean you're totally done. That doesn't mean you cannot go over to the other stages in order to get things right. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay. So any other question for so Okechukwu says, I like the part about research. As a designer, we shouldn't just rush into our Photoshop or Figma board, but we should try finding out what people would like to see. That's a very good contribution. That way we can actually meet the needs of the user. So I'm just going to go over it again so that you guys don't get it mixed up. I said these processes are iterative, okay? But then nobody is pressing your neck and saying that when you reach the final stage, you cannot go back. Okay, like stage 1 to stage 5, you cannot go back to the first stage. But these are like steps that you need to take one after the other, right? From empathy, you're going over to the ideate. Now let me understand what that means. Let me explain what that means. The first stage, right, I said is the empathy stage where you get to understand your users. When you're done understanding your users, their needs and their wants, the next thing you want to do is generate ideas. Sorry, I think the define stage is the next thing, not the ideation stage. Define. When you get to define the problem, what exactly are we trying to solve here? And then after that, the next stage is what's the ideation stage, where you get to generate ideas in order to solve that problem that you just defined. You get to learn more about this in the next class. So let me just go back to that list so you could understand. Yes, this is it. So we have empathy, we have define, we have ideate, prototype, and test. But when you get to the last stage and then you're done with all of this, you get feedbacks from users that, okay, this product, I'm having a hard time. Or I think that your use of colors, they don't really make sense. What do I want to do? I'm going to go over to the first stage or even to the third one to generate more ideas on how to go about what that person just said, about that feedback that I just got. So I hope that is clear now. Okay, so somebody said to explain it prevents costly mistakes on the importance of design thinking. I already mentioned this, and I even gave an example. By prevent costly mistakes, I mean, I'm just going to give you the example that I gave before. Having two designers, the first designer doesn't go through the design thinking process and the second person does. The difference between both of them is the person who actually goes through the design thinking process has a lot of advantage. Why? Because the person actually understands the users. So there's 100% or 99% chance that this person is going to give the users what they actually want. But if I did not go through the design thinking process, I'm going to have a lot of things, right? A lot of things wrong. I'm going to get a lot of things wrong. A lot of mistakes on the product, which I am going to spend a lot of time trying to correct. But what design thinking process does is to prevent these mistakes from happening. Okay, I hope you understand better. Do we have any other questions? If not, we're going to be moving on to the next stage. So who's ready for some quiz? I hope you're excited. So I'm just going to, list out some rules. First of all, I need all of you on this call to change your Zoom names to your Discord username. Please do that now. Change your Zoom names to your Discord usernames. That way it is, easy to track the learners and whoever the winner is. Because if your Zoom name is Fine Girl, for instance, and then you have your Discord name to be Amanda, that it's be very, very hard after the call, to know who the Fine Girl was or whoever the winner was on the call. So please do that now. Okay. So this is how this is how the quiz session is going to go. I'm going to read out the questions, but also I'm going to display it so that you don't have any difficulty hearing me. So whoever the first person is to give a correct answer, so it's almost like the fastest finger kind of thing. Whoever the first person to give a correct answer is. And also to get at least, we have 10 questions here. And also to get at least 10 questions right, that person will go home with a cash prize. I'm not going to tell you. It's between us and whoever the winner is. So the first person to give the correct answer and to get at least 8 questions right. Okay, I'm saying done. I have changed my name. Okay, cool. Great. So we're just going to go right into it. Do you type the answers? Yes, in the chat box. Nobody should unmute his or her mic. Yes, you type it here, just like Mayowa said. Thank you very much. So we're just going to go right into it. We have the first question. Which of the following... You need to not even allow me to read the question out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so Mayowa, please take note of... Okay, this person is... I don't know if this is your username on the... What's it called? But this can actually disqualify you because I just gave out an instruction that you should change your names to your Discord username. So if you type one here and then it's not your Discord, whoever this bleeded is, I hope that is your Discord username. Please help me confirm, Mayowa. So the question is, I'm still going to read my question. Which of the following best defines UX design? We have A to be uniform xylophone design, B, user experience design, C, ultimate experience design, D, user exchange design. So we have the first person who got the answer correct to be bleeded. But we need to confirm that Bleeded's name here is actually the same name that matches his or her name in the Discord channel. If not, we're going to actually have a winner for this question to be Josephine Joseph. So Mayowa, please take note of that for me. I'm just going to write that down. Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Mayowa. So Bleeded is our winner for the first question, which is B. You got that correct. Number 2 question, what is the main goal of UX design? A, creating visually appealing interfaces. B, enhancing user satisfaction and usability. C, focusing on technical implementation. D, maximizing profits for the company. Well, you guys are so fast. Wow. Okay, who do we have here? Who is the first person? Florence Oledede, if I got that right. B is correct. Congratulations. I hope that you get get other questions correct too. Otherwise, we'll end up with no winner. Okay, so I think I mentioned that the requirement is that you should get at least 8 questions correct. So number 3 question we have, which design principle ensures that elements are visually balanced and harmonious? A, consistency. B, contrast. C, emphasis. D, unity. Oh, wow. So what do we have here? We're having a lot of A, B, C. We have, okay, I'm trying to scroll up. Who is the first person who answered this? Okay, so Gladys B is not correct. Hilda B, person is authentic B. No. Okay.
Ayodeji said D. Ayodeji is our winner.
Okay, thank you for that. Adedeji is our winner for that because the correct answer is D for number 3. Unity is the design principle that ensures that elements are visually balanced and harmonious. Next question, what is white space in design? What is white space in design? Bleeded. Okay, that was fast. A, an area with no Wi-Fi coverage. B, the background color of the website. C, the empty or negative space around design elements. D, a placeholder for missing images. The correct answer is C, the empty or negative space around design elements, and Bleeded got it right. Next question we have, what does UI pattern? Oh my days. What does UI pattern refer to in UI design? A specific type of fabric used in design. B, a predefined layout for a user interface element. C, a design that uses only one color. D, a design pattern used exclusively by a single user. The correct answer is B, and Bleeded got it first. Again. Number 6, What does the acronym CTA stand for in UX design? A, click to activate. B, call to action. C, call the attention. D, create timeless art. The correct answer is B. And Bleeded got it again. Number 7. Number 7, we have what is. Oh God! Oh, can you guys calm down? Bleeded, what is it? Allow others to breathe. Okay, allow others to breathe. What is accessibility in the context of UI UX design? A design style inspired by nature. B, the ease with which a user can access a website. C, a type of font used for headings. D, a design principle that prioritizes animations over functionality. The correct answer is B, the ease with which a user can access a website, and Bleeded got it first. Okay, so we're going to be moving into Ayodeji said this Bleeded they use Ojoro. Who knows? I guess we'll never know. Okay. So we're going to have the next question. Number 8. Which design principle focuses on making elements stand out from their surroundings? A, consistency. B, contrast. C, emphasis. D, unity. The correct answer to number 8 is C. Who do we have here? Okay. Let me see. Trio said B. Lidet said B. Josephine Joseph said B. Harmony said B. Ugoma Akanwa, I don't know if I pronounced that correct. You actually got this correct. The correct answer here is emphasis. Emphasis is the design principle that focuses on making elements to stand out from their surroundings. Emphasis. Ugoma. So we have number 9. Please, nobody should send answers to anybody's DM. Thank you very much. Okay. So number 9, we have, what does user-centered design emphasize in the design process? A, designing for the preferences of the design team. B, prioritizing the needs and preferences of the end users. C, focusing on aesthetics above all else. D, creating complex interactions to challenge the users. Trial 300 got that correct. We have B as the correct answer, prioritizing the needs and preferences of the end users. Okay, so We have the next question, the last question to be, what does user feedback provide to designers in UX process? A, an opportunity to criticize users' choice. B, a chance to promote the design team's skill. C, valuable insights to improve a product's usability and experience. D, a platform for showcasing design trends. We have trial 300 says B, Harmony says B, Bleeded says C, and C is the correct answer for number 10 question. Okay, so like I said, we have 10 questions and we've come to the end of our quiz session. I actually enjoyed this. Thank you very much for everyone that participated. Trial says, at least I won one. Nobody can get it, right? Nobody can get it, but the highest number of answers. Like you already know that Bleeded got at least, he got more than 5, correct? Okay, not more than 5, actually 5. So the highest number, whoever got the highest number is going to be made the winner. So let me read the comments out here. Someone said Bleeded again. You guys are fabulous. Answers as quick as lightning. Okechukwu is not happy. Sammy said the morning call. Of course, it's for the winner. I got 2 at least. Ayodeji, well done. I got 8 actually. Funny so says I got all. Patience says, Bleeded, I'll be waiting beyond him. Are you sure you're not a robot? He's not, I bet. Ayodeji says, Nadudu bleed, they use nothing you won't tell me. Okay. Patience is asking, I could ask, how do people read that fast? I am wondering too. Oh my God. So we have our winner to be Bleeded, right? Please unmute your mic. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear the voice of the winner, whoever this person is. Please tell
Good
us how you
afternoon,
feel.
guys.
Hi. Good
Thank you.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody. It's just I've like studied a lot of them. Like I was even studying most of this stuff this morning, so it's like it was just very fresh in my memory.
Oh, he prepared for class. That's nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
please do well to send your account details to me on the Discord channel.
I will not waste time. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you very much for participating.
No problem.
Look at Samuno says, I cannot believe I've been sending answers to the co-host. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Life happens. Okay, so we have come to Patience says, I got all correct in my own pace. Congratulations to you too. Okay, thank you very much for participating. This was actually very nice. And I look forward to doing another, but certainly not in the next class. Okay, so we're going to be doing this. We're going to have we're going to have this quiz continuously, right? Maybe we're just going to pick the classes. But it was nice. Success Friday is asking when is the next quiz. I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you guys before the class, of course, like I did today. Thank you very much. But this goes to show that a lot of you have been practicing. Like he said, he actually went over these things. It's not like he knew that I was going to set this stuff, but we need to read more. We need to practice more. And so I was supposed to ask a question. How many of you practiced on Figma? How many of you use your Figma to practice, not majorly for the task, right? To just do something on your own. Okay, that's nice. Read one. Go ahead. Unmute your mic.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. I don't know, please. I don't know if I'm going too fast. Because there's this question I want to ask, and I should have known
You
that
already
in.
know that you're going too fast. For you to know that you're actually going too fast, that means you're going too fast.
Okay, then maybe I'll slow down then.
You should.
Okay,
Thank you.
so welcome.
So I'm seeing a lot of I did. So I like if maybe two persons to raise their hands on on the call and tell us what they did on Figma. Success Amarachi says, I practice for the task. I'm not really asking about the task though. Like, did you practice on Figma to try out all that stuff apart from the task? AK Wallet Design, please go ahead.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, I make use of the design, and though I've been practicing it for a while, but I continue with it as I did a repli I replicated the product page, and also I practiced the use of color, try to create a color wheel and the likes.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well done. So Success
Thank
says,
you.
I tried designing a login page. I would actually love to see that. So for as many as that practice, you did stuff aside the task that was given. Feel free to drop them on the Discord channel. I actually love to see what you guys did so far. I love to see that. Ademoye says, I recreated a page for a food delivery app, though I am not done. Well done. Keep it up. Florence says, I designed a login page and a landing page. That's beautiful. I love to see that. I practice on how to design a landing page for a shoe website using a MacBook Pro frame. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, like I said, just feel free to drop them on the Discord channel. Let your colleagues see what you've done. Let people, criticize your designs. That way you get to learn a lot more. Okay, Chuku Kalu, go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon, Mara. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So aside from the task, there is a basketball flyer I've been working on in Photoshop. But then I thought to continue doing it with Figma, and so I did it, and it was pretty amazing. Though I had issues using the pen tool, so I wasn't really able to get my hands around the pen tool like that. But of course, I used it. I was reading through the elements and principles online, sorry, and then I saw something about value, placing value on some colors, and then I looked at it. They were mostly shades of black. That's black fading to white and something like that. I don't know if I'm really explaining it proper, but I tried out the design and it's worked out well.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Chuku, that's nice. Reading and trying to practice what you've learned. That's actually very nice. I recommend that to everyone here. So for everyone who has dropped what you did so far, like I said, just go ahead and drop them on the Discord channel. Thank you very much for your time today. If you have any questions, always feel free to drop them on the Discord channel. And as for the task, the submission link that people are asking about is going to be dropped soon. Like I said, I extended the submission deadline so that at the end of the day, we're not going to have any excuses, or we're not going to entertain any excuses. So I'm just going to say, keep practicing, keep learning, learn more on your own, keep reading and asking the right questions. Thank you very much and have a nice day.